Not just any sword, they put this sword on fire as well. And actually, I really hope that people, when they do watch this ad that we made, that they do think it's real fire. Because, you know, I was holding this sword that was very heavy and very hot right near my face and right near my long blonde hair that was down. I'm actually quite talented at walking in heels on uneven terrain. They were like, Esme, you're going to have to put your battle face on and you're going to have to scream when you do it, because that was the only way to stop me from smiling, because I would be like, oh, I remember the choreography, and I'd be smiling. And they wanted to fly me out to LA to do a full body scan of me, a voice scan, everything, to make me into an AI girlfriend. Hello everybody, and welcome back to my podcast, Esme's Country Life. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how I became a stunt rider for the day and all the behind the scenes of filming for House of the Dragon. But before we talk about all of that, I just want to say a huge thank you to the sponsor of the podcast, Red Post. Red Post is an equestrian and country store based in the UK, but they also ship all over the world. At the moment, they have their summer sale on. I know that they have 20% off Fairfax and Favour and up to 70% off other bits and bobs. So go and check it out if you want to get yourself some bargains. They're also doing their summer of safety as well, so any safety products too, very important. But anyway, thank you so much to Red Post for sponsoring the podcast, and let's get into it. So this is a secret little project that that's kind of been in the works for a long old time, and I can finally tell you all about it, which has been very exciting. So yeah, it's one of those things where I hate to be that like podcaster, YouTuber, influencer kind of person where I'm just like, I got this exciting thing, but I can't tell you about it. But yes, I can tell you all. It's now up on all of my socials. But yes, let's backpedal a little bit about how we got into all of this. So being a content creator, every now and again, you get a little email that pops on through, and sometimes there are I've had some very weird companies message me to do some very weird things, and there are a lot of things that I have to say no to. Or sometimes I don't even bother replying because I'm like, I don't want this person to think I am at all interested, which you might be thinking, Esme, that sounds very rude, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I can say one, because this is the weirdest thing there have been some other weird things I've been asked to do with my job, but the weirdest thing, and I was offered a ridiculous amount of money for this, but that goes past my boundaries. It was a big no-no. But I had this company and they wanted to fly me out to LA to do a full body scan of me, a voice scan, everything, to make me into an AI girlfriend. And I was like, no, that is not happening. This is some sort of weird Black Mirror episode. Not for me. No, thank you. Go and find somebody else. So I just thought that really freaked me out. So yeah, there have been some interesting things come through my email box over the years. But anyway, this one popped through and I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? This is very cool. So anyway, this proposal, I haven't even said what it's for. It was for Sky and Now, and they wanted people to promote the new series of House of the Dragon, which is the Game of Thrones kind of spin-off, which is, gotta say, it is very cool. I just want to also put it out there that it is an adult show, so if you're one of my younger viewers, this is not the show for you to watch. But if you are older, like me, then it is. So I just want to put that out there before somebody doesn't really know what they're getting into. So anyway, just thought I'd say that. But anyway, so because of course my channel, I do a lot of stuff about horses and obviously knights, that kind of stuff. There's horses in the show. So it started off as like them just like being like, oh yeah, we'll get some content creators to like try and promote the show like at home, that kind of thing. And then we were like, guys, we could do something big. So we then they were so impressed with our proposal where we were like, look, Esme can ride horses. We can get her dressed up as one of the Targaryens in the show. We could work with a stunt team, all this kind of stuff. And they were like, love it. So then me and my dad had to do another presentation to some bigger boys higher up the ladder. And then we were like, okay, we really hope that we get this job. And then, of course, we got the job. So that was very exciting. We had to have lots of meetings beforehand to get it all signed off, to get the plan ready, talk budget and all that kind of stuff. And because obviously we had to, get all the stunt crew and stuff and the horses and all of them, make sure that they were getting paid as well. So anyway, it all got sorted, all very exciting. And then the day came around where we were filming. Now we had one whole day with the whole stunt crew, the horses, everything. So it was a big day. We needed to get it right. The pressure was on. So we had one of our lovely days where my dad wakes me up at 4 a.m, picks me up, I get into the car, go back to sleep, drive on by. I went to the Knights of Middle England. Said that too quickly. We went to the Knights of Middle England in Warwick, and they are incredible. I've worked with that team so many times before. I've done horseback archery with them. I've done jousting with them. I've done side saddle with them. I've done trick riding with them. I've done liberty with them. That's five different disciplines. So actually, something that I want to do is to try and get my stunt rider license. So I've done quite a lot of the different activities involved that you need to be able to do to get your stunt rider license. So that's something that I would love to do at some stage. So I'm working my way through all the different things that I need to do. But anyway, so they were an incredible team. Of course, I had a whole stunt crew on site, so everything was done very professionally in a very safe manner to also keep myself safe, because I was doing some stunts. I was doing some high pressure things, some definitely more dangerous things than I'm used to. So yeah, another little disclaimer: do not try this at home. Do not do this at the yard on your horses or at the barn or whatever, because you do not have stunt horses and you do not have a safe team with you. So when we first arrived, first thing that we needed to do was the choreography. So in the kind of storyline that we came up with, or the storyboard, it was me, and then there were two kind of knights / people on the other team, other house, and I was kind of battling them. So we went through all the battle choreography first, where I was kind of fighting with my fists. So luckily I did not punch. Nobody got punched, nobody got hurt. They were all very good. We actually filmed some behind the scenes stories, which at first probably looked really pathetic, because I was there, in my leggings and a hoodie and my trainers, not looking at all battle like, with my long blonde hair down and just poo poo. And also a lot of stunt kind of filming when it comes to punch ups and that kind of thing. A lot of it is down to the camera angle to make things look really good. So obviously when we're filming behind the scenes stories, it looked like I was literally punching air. So there we go. But obviously the team, they do a lot of live action stuff at Warwick Castle as well, that I filmed with last summer. I'm pretty sure did a little chat about that, or did a video about that, which was very cool. But yes, they are very good at doing it, because obviously when you're in a whole crowd and you're doing live action stuff, it doesn't matter where the camera is, because there's no camera, it's live and people are watching it from all angles. So they get a little bit closer when it comes to all the punches and that kind of stuff. Me, not so much, because I was actually very worried I was going to hurt somebody. But the problem was that I came across, I was having so much fun doing all the, trying to remember the choreography. I was smiling the whole time. I looked like I was having a blast. So they were like, Esme, you're going to have to put your battle face on, and you're going to have to scream when you do it, because that was the only way to stop me from smiling, because I would be like, oh, I remember the choreography, and I'd be smiling. And it wasn't like a Joker, Harlequin, creepy kind of smile. It was just this girl is having a great time. So there we go. I am a very kind of smiley, happy person. Unless I'm relaxing, then I do have a little bit of a resting face that makes it look like I'm not very approachable or not having a good time, which I promise I am. It's just my resting face. I can look a little bit tired, a little bit grumpy. I promise I'm not a tired or grumpy person. I'm just resting. But anyway, and then we got the swords out. These swords were so blunt, because again, I did not want to, hurt anybody or accidentally chop somebody. So there we go. That, I'd say the swords was probably the most fun when it came to doing the choreography. I was like, poo, poo, poo. Actually, that sounds more like I'm got a lightsaber or something. That's not the noise that a sword makes, me trying to do sound effects. But anyway, so that was very fun. So then it was time to go to wardrobe. So my first outfit was actually just me dressed up as kind of almost like Fairfax and Favour as me, like very glam as me. So I wore a pretty white dress and heels and that kind of thing. Air wrapped my hair so it was all big and fancy and had it all curled, like full glam makeup. And then we did like a little cute bit of me like walking in the woods, like, oh, what's happening here? And then the whole kind of plot of the storyline was me going from glam as me to suddenly I become a Targaryen or like one of the characters from the show. So that was like a big kind of transition that we did at the end. We actually did it with my arm kind of like coming down, and then I was like holding a sword. So as my arm swooped across my face, there'd be the transition of me changing into warrior. I'm going to call myself like warrior or Targaryen Esme. So there we go. So after we did all the pretty bits in the woods, which I walked down on my in my heels. That is one thing that I'm actually quite talented at. Walking in heels on uneven terrain, if that's in like a wood, if that's on the beach, on pebbles, or that kind of thing. Like, I don't know why, but my balance is down. So that was quite good fun. And then it was time to go to makeup and wardrobe again, and this time, warrior Esme was activated. So I tried on different outfits. There were lots of different kind of chest pieces that we tried on to see which one fitted best, which one looked most like the show, and that kind of thing. So that was very cool. Then I had my makeup all done, so I had like all black eyeshadow to really kind of transform me. I also had my hair done. The amazing Kelly did my hair, and she kind of plaited it or braided it all, which I thought looked so cool. That is one thing I think I said in the last week's podcast episode that I just cannot do hair for the life of me, and I was like, girl, I need you here every week, come do my hair for filming and that kind of thing, because it looked so cool. But anyway, so after that, once I was transformed, it was then time to try and remember all the choreography, which I was actually quite proud of myself that I did manage to remember it, because we did so many different things in between that. And then we did all the kind of punching shots, and one thing that was really cool was that the stunt team that I was using, there was this one guy, and he was incredible at kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, this sounds really stupid, I was gonna say wobbling his face, because obviously when you get punched, there's going to be like a bit of momentum of you kind of like going backwards, and he did that so well. And like the way that he would flick his head round when he got punched, like so quickly, I was like, this man, he's going to give himself whiplash. I felt so awful. Obviously, like, you know, this is what he does all the time. This is what he's used to. And both of the guys were incredible at doing all of that. So after, we did all the scenes of the fighting, and then did all the scenes with the sword. Then the next scene was a horse coming over, and that's kind of like my way of how I kind of carried on the battle. I carried it on a horse, and the horse was incredible. So obviously this horse was used to doing all of this kind of stuff, but I was like, oh my gosh, my horses are scared of plastic bags. They're scared of when the daffodils or the flowers pop up in the spring because they weren't there last week, and they're sometimes even scared of their own farts. So there we go. And then there was this horse that was just so chilled. It was just incredible. So the horsemanship that they have in the Knights of England is incredible, and a lot of horses also that they do have, like one of my favourite horses that they have is called Sausage, and she was actually supposed to be going to slaughter. That's why she was called Sausage for the meat market, and obviously that she ended up in their hands, in very good hands, and she's one of their best horses, or one of my favourites. But we weren't using Sausage today, we were using a different horse. I have completely forgotten what the horse's name is. Can you remember? Bro. Oh, yes. Sorry, the horse was called Bro. Bro is short for, I cannot remember the like fancy name. It was like Ambrose, or is that type of custard, or is that my imagination? Maybe I'm making this up. My brain's not working today. I've had a busy week. Anyway, so Bro was a bro. Bro was very cool. This big bay horse, and they had like all the outfits, all the gear, like this kind of like medieval looking bridle with all the fancy bits, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like Casper could really pull off an outfit like that. Like, he would just look so cool. A really like ornate saddle and all the like fluffy bits on it and everything. It just looked very cool. And I felt incredible. I felt like I was the baddest. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. I was like, I am feeling so powerful right now. I am a warrior princess. I was loving it. I was like, this is brilliant. Don't worry, I didn't let it get to my head. But then it was time. The pressure was on for me to do some horseback archery. Now, can I just tell you one thing? I have only done horseback archery once before this, and it was 2 years ago or was it 3 years ago? I think it was 2021 or 2022. 3 years ago. It was 3 years ago that I did horseback archery for the first time, and I had to remember how to do it. And I tell you what, I wasn't bad. I was not bad. I was very proud of myself. I actually really enjoy archery. It's something that I would love to get into. Horseback archery is very fun, but I don't think either of my horses, Casper and Joey, they would both be like, nah, mate, no, thank you. That they would definitely freak out. I mean, it's definitely one of those things that I could probably train them, desensitize them to, but maybe not. I don't know how the riding with no hands would be on them. They would just want to go and put their head down and find some snacks. Anyway, my horse is so greedy. Anyway, so we did obviously a few practice shots where the arrow was not on fire. And then I did it so many times. I shot it in the place, like we had a safe zone to make sure that I wasn't going to hit anybody, wasn't going to bounce back onto me or the horse. And it would go into the ground as well, because that was another thing. We were filming this in the summer, and having a arrow on fire, we didn't want to make sure that, we wanted to make sure that no trees or grass or bushes or anything would catch fire. So there was this little dirt patch that I had to, I was going to say fire the arrow. You're not allowed to say fire the arrow because the arrow is not like a gun where things are on fire. There are no sparks or that kind of thing. So I got told off a lot, I remember, when doing horseback archery. But this one was actually on fire. So maybe I could say fire the arrow if it was on fire. I don't know. Archery people, let me know if that's technically accurate or not. But anyway, then it was time to set it on fire. And I was a little bit nervous to begin with. But whenever I do things that are a little bit scary, a little bit out of my comfort zone, I always know that for things to go right, I need to act confident. So I was like, yeah, I've just shot this arrow so many times. I can do it again. Easy peasy. Let's go. Anyway, so they had a whole guy there, and his job was just fire. A bit like in the Barbie movie where Ken's job is beach. This guy, his job was fire. So he had to make sure that if there was any fire that was kind of like still alight, make sure that he would put it out. He was also the one that would set my arrow on fire and just make sure that everyone was safe with the fire. So there we go. So anyway, it was then my time to shine. The horse knew where to go because the horse is also liberty trained. So the team would like do this whistle, and the horse knew to kind of canter over to them. So the first time did it in walk, then did it in trot, build it up to canter, and then we did a very fast canter at the end. I was like, oh my goodness. But I did it, and we got the shot, and it was so cool. And then after that, it was time to get a sword out, but not just any sword. They put this sword on fire as well. And actually, I really hope that people, when they do watch this ad that we made, that they do think it's real fire. Because, I was holding this sword that was very heavy and very hot right near my face and right near my long blonde hair that was down. And then all the team were like, oh, it looks more cool if you just like tip the sword a little bit at like an angle towards your face. And I was like, oh, lovely stuff. I was very glad that they did not put any hairspray in my hair, because if not, I think I would have caught on fire. So I was a little bit nervous about that. But again, I just had to do my battle face, and the whole time, like, the team were hyping me up. They were like, yes, girl, battle face, and that kind of thing. So it was so much fun, a little bit scary, but a lot of fun. And yeah, the way that they would set this, because at first you'd be like, Esme, a sword is made of metal. How do they set a sword on fire? So the way, I'm going to say this in a very untechnical way, but basically they get the sword, they wrap it in this kind of fabric material, and then they pour, I'm pretty sure it's paraffin, they pour that all over, and then they set it on fire. And then once they've set it on fire, they actually have to like wave or like almost flick the sword so the paraffin doesn't basically drip down my arm and my arm doesn't catch on fire. So they do the little flicky while it's on fire right next to this horse, and this horse is just standing there like it's an average Tuesday. They're just used to this. And if my horses saw a sword on fire flailing around near their face, they'd be like, see you later. you're going up to Scotland now. I'm gonna zoom off. See you later. No, thank you very much. So anyway, there we go. So Bro was just like, yeah, I'm just chilling. And then, so then also another thing that I forgot to even say is that they had these like little smoke canisters going off as well to add some atmosphere, because we were filming this in summer and it didn't feel very dark, gloomy House of the Dragon sort of vibes. So they had all this smoke and we had to make sure that the wind was blowing in the right direction and the smoke was in the right place. And then sometimes there were times where there was too much smoke, so you couldn't actually see anything, you could just see smoke, and we had to do that for all of the scenes for the continuity and make sure the smoke levels were right. So there was a whole smoke person as well, so there was a lot of people involved, a lot of behind the scenes, but we got the shot in the end, and yeah, I've got to say, the sword was very heavy. It was very heavy. So when I got to the end of the line, we've got this one behind the scenes clip. I can't remember if we got it. I've definitely got it on, like, somebody filmed it on their iPhone. Maybe I'll have to like put it on my socials at some stage. But it's me walking along with the sword in my hand, looking super cool, like going along, and like everyone's hyping me up. I've got my kind of like battle face on, and then I get to the bit where the tree's a little bit too low and I just kind of stop, and like I'm almost like in the tree and you can just hear my dad like laughing, but like, oh, she's in a tree. So anyway, that was quite funny. But yeah, the team were amazing. The horse was amazing, and we had the best time, and now seemed very happy with the ad that we filmed for them for House of the Dragon. So even though the podcast is not sponsored by them, we did some work for them. So if you want to go and check out the series, it's on now. Nowtv.com. Go and check it out. But yes, that was my little anecdote and little story about working behind the scenes as a stunt rider for the day. Thought I would give you a little horsey update, because I feel like I've been talking a lot about horses that aren't mine, or that kind of thing. So first off, Mickey actually this morning, he had OptiVet back, because I know a lot of you have been asking about Mickey, my pony's eye. He's had a bit of a poorly eye lately, but she gave him a checkup today and his eye is looking better, so that is good news. He's not got to have it removed maybe yet. At the moment, it's looking good. It's looking like he can keep his eye for a bit longer, so that is great news, because obviously having an eye out is a big thing. Also, a lot of you have sent me lovely messages saying that you know horses that have had eyes taken out for medical purposes, and that they've been very happy and have got along well afterwards. So that is very lovely. So thank you for all of those messages and Mickey's sort of get well soon eye messages. But yeah, OptiVet is very happy with how his eye's looking, so he's not got his next checkup until 8 weeks' time if all things go well and it continues to look the way that it does. He's on less eye drops now, so that's all good. So great news for Mickey. So he is doing very well. Actually, he's doing so well that when I led him into his stable to get him all ready for OptiVet, he almost ran over my dad. He was zooming so quickly. So even though Mickey is 25 now, he is still acting like he is a spring chicken. So there we go. That is good news. Other exciting news is that depending on when you listen to today's podcast episode, but if you're up to date, then next week, is it next week? No way. Okay, that is wild. Okay, next week, Dukey and I are going to World Horse Welfare. We're going back to Glendaspooner Farm, and we are doing a meet and greet to raise money for World Horse Welfare, but also spread awareness about their new thing that they're doing called Stable Squad, which is very cool. It's for kind of like my younger audience who want to care about horse welfare. All the proceeds and money goes towards World Horse Welfare. You get a cute little cuddly Lemure toy pony as well when you join up. There are 3 magazines that you get each year, or 3 magazines a year. There we go. That's the better English way of putting it. Or that makes more sense. And there's lots of cool stuff, and all that has lots of information about the horses that World Horse Welfare support, and lots of all fun stuff about horse welfare. So I thought I'd a little chat to you guys about that, because I'm very excited. I also think it's kind of cute that a lot of the people at World Horse Welfare that kind of looked after Duke will get to meet him and see him again. So that is lovely. I think there's going to be like a demo and lots of other bits and bobs going on that day as well. So if you want to find out more information about that and future meet and greets, all of the information is at thisesme.com. I hate, again, being that person promoting things, but you gotta do it, and also you guys always ask about things, so there we go. Basically, if you have any questions about anything, go on my website, thisesme.com. I've even got like a little thing. It's got like all facts about the horses. So if you ever want to know how tall they are, what their favourite, I don't know, like it's got a lot of information about them. The year that they were born, their height, their breeding, I don't know, stuff like that. There's even one on me because I thought, you know what, that'd be quite funny. So it says horse, 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 and then for me it says human. So there we go. That was a little fun thing that we did when we created the website. But there we go. So I'm really looking forward to that. I feel like there's not really too much to update you on with, Joey and Cass, but I feel like I've been in my happy hacker era. We've just been doing lots of hacking with them as the weather's been so lovely. It's been like, because it's been quite hot, me and my dad like, I don't really want to do like full on flat work or dressage or jumping. I'm like, let's go for a lovely stroll in the countryside. We'll go on the hills where maybe there's a nice breeze that's a bit cooler up there, or we'll go to the woods where it's nice and shady and a bit cooler there as well. But it has been so hot lately. We've finally got a summer. I know that I've been complaining about the weather a lot on the podcast, but the last few weeks, oh my gosh, summer is here and I have been enjoying it. I am not going to complain about the heat. But yeah, it's been a blast. We've done lots of horse showering where we cool them off, especially Mickey. Mickey is the sort of pony where he can get rather hot when it comes to summer and the heat. He's not quite designed for it, especially, bless him, with his Cushing's and all his other medical issues and his age. He does struggle with the heat a little bit more. So there we go. But anyway, I think that's all really everything to update you on horse-wise. I mean, chicken-wise, they're all good. Toby, the donkey, he's all good. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to finish off today's podcast episode here. I really hope you enjoyed it. I just want to say another huge thank you to Red Post for sponsoring the podcast. Go and check them out. Go and check out their summer sale. And I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.